all jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, bro. This and that for life. I'm on this for life, nigga. This is blood oath. And your mother ride. They go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a criminal. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I'll tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, nothing in the curse. We can't forgive us for being remain in the trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I give or if rain is given. Have your respect to your oppressor. Be about your business, his loyalties and damn sins, look. Trying to pick up with a blind foot. They said they'll be in advances. I'm just grinding for my time share. The devils they playing fair. They hunching like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like you bungee. Or if you take that office and bandit, they try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart and say your name 3 times. And it's death to us part. So how you feel about this truth out of show? You said that like you think that nigga. I should walk now. Even your own people gon' disown. And everyone said they hate you, so I name that you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Getty. Murder for capital I's, murder at the Capitol. The world is amazing, we like fuck a raise. I'll be the nose watch your life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. It pump smoke, never try to. They dead on my brother be the dead, so I don't give a fuck. Salute my nigga. They like how you stay focused. I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the street. Now never do my niggas like Bishop did right here. Never violate all beliefs. They under anesthesia. Shorty say she leave me, said she wanna let that love go. So I let that love go. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a better hope. So how you feel about this truth out of show? You said that like you think that nigga I should want. Even your own people gon' be told. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on.
The energy and focus to give yourself a boost.
But the rest get to it, ain't taking no slack, get to it. You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blow it. Let me show you how to do it. Do it like you do it. Bro, what we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cows, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Hey. I don't care what they told me. All I want is my Porsche. I'm gonna ride up to you. Cause me, I'm a force. Kill them all like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. All about my profit. I'm shooting over like a rocket. Who got the blow these niggas off the board? He go hard to go hard. Steph Curry for the court. All I got is my niggas. All I be is my ball. All I bring is that sword. Blood on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he ain't live. If you real, who am I? Not his ass on the fire. Don't be kind till I die. Please don't cross the line. Try to stop me, stop trying. Boom, stop me, stop fire. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Never time and believe. You ain't hungry, nigga. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't moving with precision. Follow every order given. Let's get to it. Make it little shit, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed like a brewer. One more, make it do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cows, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Real true experience. Lot of hate for no reason. Probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. And all the power in my hand. Send the shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Get flamed up and ain't changed up for nobody. What you know about? This ain't a rap, this a next. Ain't a real respect. Fake niggas like a boss. A lot of niggas in fact. I came to correct. Bought a whole bunch of soldiers. They moving my stretch. We the represented industry.
Power off.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Officer Kazaiwan, Officer of 50 out of the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. If it's not out of 1 West, under the command of General Yohana, it is not the truth. I'm also here with this dope brother, Officer Aramawan as well, who holding down Shema. I am holding down class for Officer Mpataza in his absence. And we're gonna dive right into it. You understand? So today's class is gonna be hating your brother destroys our nation. You understand? So what I tend to see on a daily basis, because I am around a lot of brothers, from the hood, daily, and I see a lot of hate towards our own brothers. You understand? So we got Hispanic brothers that work in my slave. We got Judites, that work in my slave, and all you hear is back and forth. Yeah, I was a Latin King. I was a gangster disciple. I was a Blackstone. I was a BD. And I hear war stories. I hear the gang violence back and forth and what they did it for. And to tell you the truth, man, a lot of this hatred towards your brother is really small. It's small because the reason you hate your brother is so petty. You understand? And just like in a relationship, how you have to endure a relationship and the ups and downs of a relationship, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we should be doing the same thing when it comes to our brothers. You understand? Like, our brothers is the protection of our nation. And if you want to know why this nation is so destroyed right now, it's because the defense system is fighting itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We not using what the Lord gave us, which is brotherhood, to defeat our enemy. We using a separated version or a detached version of brotherhood to separate and then kill each other. You understand? So if you could, Baba Kashak, can you give me Leviticus 19 and 17?
Okay.
And what you don't understand is the Most High is destroying us because we're not following this law which says to love your brother, not to hate your brother. You know what I'm saying? If you ever seen, the city of Chicago, if you ever been to the city of Chicago, and you came down to, what we would call a hood, 79th Street, 63rd, you know what I'm saying, those blocks like that, and you look around, you'll see a whole bunch of brothers that's really like zombies. They have no clue what it means to love. You understand? And I heard one of General Mahaima's breakdowns when he said love is to endure. I mean, it hurts. If it don't hurt, then it's not really love. You understand? If it doesn't hurt, like, how can you take the good but don't take the bad part of love? The bad part of love is what shows that you love somebody. It helps you endure a relationship with your wife, with your rib, with your husband, with your brother.
If I could,
Go ahead.
that's heavy because even like with your brother, when you said it's endure suffrage or the suffer will be love. It's like if your brother owe you $20, $100, the suffering part of that love would be say, you know what, that's my brother. If he needed that $100 that much and he can't pay it back to me, hey, I love him more than that money.
Right.
And that money means nothing to me. That's the love your brother part of suffrage. Yeah, it's gonna hurt your pocket a little bit, but the weapon you're gonna gain from that brotherhood it means more than that money.
Damn right. And that's what I'm talking about. Enduring. You got a lot of these brothers that's out here killing each other over $20. That's why it's heavy what you bringing out of Officer Ramawan. There's brothers that say, you know what I'm saying, he ain't paid me my $20. I'm about to go kill him. You about to kill your brother over $20? Half the time it be brothers that's been your friend since elementary school. You about to kill somebody that you invested that much time in a friendship and in a brotherhood for $20. How horrible does that sound? You understand? Like, you got to understand something. The oppressor is making the next move on the chess table, and he understands that the only way he can lose is if we realize that if we come together, we can defeat him. And right now, he's using the best war tactic you can use. He's making sure that you kill yourself from the inside. You're doing the work for him. You understand? You got what I need. Leviticus 19 and 17.
Come on. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So this is a law that says, "Thine shall not hate thy brother in thy heart." You understand? You shouldn't hate your brother in your heart. And then when you think about when you talk about your heart in the Bible, when it says heart, it's talking about your mind. Like, you shouldn't mentally just hate your brother. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't conspire on your brother. You know what I'm saying? In hate. Go ahead.
Khan. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
So it says, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You understand? And the Lord understands that the hatred between two brothers, you got to go back to the story of Cain and Abel. When that brotherhood was one where one rebuked his brother and it suffered sin upon him, and he got punished for it. The Most High has never, ever, wanted us to go battle back and forth. And it's even worse than it was, ever now, because you got all these gangs. You go to any city, you go to any ghetto in the hood in the United States of America, or on Earth. I won't even say United States of America. You go to Europe. You know what I'm saying? Go to hell. It's niggas in China. Go to China and go to the park where the niggas stay at. You understand? And watch what you see. You see the same thing all over the earth. Because if you think about it, the world wants us to be divided. Because as long as we divided, they keep their rulership over this earth. You know what I'm saying? They understand that the day that we come together, that their rulership will be taken from under them.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't conspire when they know that the real people of the Most High power is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians? Who wouldn't want to conspire against them? If I knew I didn't have a promise, hell, I would try my best to get, you know what I'm saying, to keep my my kingdoms as long as I can. So right now, that's what we're suffering. We're suffering the oppressor using us to defeat us. You understand? If you could give me 1 John 3 and 10. If you could, Baba Kasha. And he's using us. The Bible calls, the white man the devil. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's a deceiver on the earth. He's the best chess player there is. And you got to think about it. You got to think about why. Because if you knew that you were going to be destroyed, what would you do? It's like that cat back in the corner syndrome. You would do anything you can to make sure that you don't get destroyed. So, of course, in their mind, is make sure that the children of the Most High fight each other, destroy each other.
That's right.
At first, it was them destroying us. You got to think about it. During slavery, you had men riding on horses looking for runaway slaves. That's what the police department was built on. And then fast forward now into 2021, you got niggas in the same department that used to try to kill and murder and hang your foreparents. You got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, if I could. And that's kind of heavy, because you see these brothers, the Hispanics, the Native Indian brothers, the black Negro brothers. Mm-hmm. They feel like to enable to get the entitlement and the luxuries of the oppressor, they got to do what the oppressor do, which means oppress. their own people.
Right.
You know, the oppressor is gonna oppress us because that's in their spirit to do. But you know, for a brother to see that, hey, I could be a little bit richer if I oppress my own brother.
Right.
That's the spirit and the demon that a lot of our brothers out of these different communities and these different ghettos have now. They have that spirit of I want to bring my brother down to bring myself up.
Right. That's heavy what you bringing out. The scriptures say they were separated from the womb, which lets you know right now there was never a means for us and the oppressor to be come together.
That's right.
You understand? As much as y'all want to say we want equal rights, tell me this, what kingdom would let the servants of their kingdom have the same rights as them? That don't even make sense. What kingdom? What father would say another man can come in his house and have the same rights he has in that household? Just think about it. So us coming together don't make sense. Either you take over the house or you leave the house. One of the two. And Christ said, if we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we be a brother to our brother, he's going to take the house.
That's right.
And I want to be in the house when Christ take the house. I don't even want to be in the house while the oppressor got the house. You know why? Because they're going to make you eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster.
That's right.
They're gonna tell you that homosexuality is normal. They're gonna tell you that your son can dress like a girl and it's whatever he identifies as. The oppressor is gonna tell you to kill your brother when the Bible says love thy brother like you love yourself. Come on, man. Until you wake up and realize that this world at this moment right now is made to oppress the blacks, Hispanics, and the North American Indians in this earth so they can continue to own this kingdom, you don't understand what your future is. You don't understand what the prophets of old did work for and what the prophets of new in the ISUPK is doing this work for.
That's right.
We here to die for blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. You know why? Because in one day, Christ will come back and possibly, most high willing, we'll get a piece of the kingdom. We'll get a palace. We'll get our land. I don't want 40 acres and a mule. I want my fucking brothers to come together. Salakia. I want my brothers to come together so we can get our house back. You understand? Salakia. Go ahead. You got 1 John 3 and 10.
God, it's the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
In this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil.
This say, in this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. This is going to manifest the children of God. Who's the children of God versus the children of the devil? Go ahead.
Oh God. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God.
Whoever doeth not righteousness is not of God. What is it? What is righteousness? Righteousness means you follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You do what's right. You do what's right. And who sets that standard? The man in charge. The one in charge is the Most High. He says, this is right, and if you follow this, you're in righteousness. Go ahead.
God. And Salakia. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother.
Neither he that, now it just said he that does not do righteousness is not of God, and neither the person who don't love his brother. You're going to see that throughout the scriptures. That, you know, the Most High makes it very clear that he wants you to follow his laws and love your brother. I'm a father in the household with kids. What I want my kids to do, I want my kids to follow what I told them to do. I want them to make sure that they love each other and love that family that lives in that household. And with that, I know that my household is stable because I know how to run my household. And if they don't do as I say do, then my household looks like it's in shambles. And right now, the earth looks like it's in shambles because the Most High and his people the Most High's people is not doing what he told them to do.
That's right.
You shooting your own brother up, man. You understand? You talk about O Block and 63rd. You know what I'm saying? Motown, Latin Kings, SDs, Mickey Cobras, Foes. Like, you see how divided you is, but living in the same hood, living in the same ghetto, all getting oppressed by the police, all getting killed by the police and yourselves. Ain't nothing worse than being destroyed on the inside and on the out. You know what I'm saying? This is something that has been a tragedy in our neighborhoods for years. For years. And it's because, don't think that, we sitting out here just being hoodlums. We always said it's like crabs in a bucket. Everybody trying to get out. They're going to pull the other man down just to get out the bucket. Not knowing that if you stayed in the bucket with your brothers, you become stronger. You can eat the bucket up. You can beat the bucket up and get out of it. And all y'all out of there. Why try to escape alone, man? The only way we're going to escape this hell and this destruction on earth is if we come together. We have to come together. All Christ preached to his disciples and told his disciples to preach to the nation is brotherhood is a weapon.
That's right.
You understand? I love the Captain of the Card verse. He say, brotherhood is a weapon. Keep a weapon on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Because everywhere we go together, we got a weapon because we got brotherhood.
That's right.
You understand? And that means the world. You understand? You got any more on that?
I could do, if I could I go to 11 too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh God. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
This is the lesson that you learned from the beginning. And I just went into Cain and Abel. You know what I'm saying? The reason Cain sinned and got displaced out of the Garden of Eden is because he didn't love his brother, man. He cared more about gain than he cared about his brother. And that's what's happening in the ghettos every day. We care about cars and gold. We care about, you know what I'm saying, how many women we got. You know what I'm saying? We care about cracking our brothers, you know what I'm saying, ribs. We care about all the things that don't matter on this earth as much as our brothers and sisters do. You understand? And when I say brothers, you know what I'm saying, understand that I mean brothers and sisters. I'll never leave the sisters out of there. You know what I'm saying? We got glorious sisters in the ISUPK. I want to give kudos to them because I'm going to tell you something, especially, in the Chicago school that I can vouch for, the sisters in here is incredible.
That's right.
These sisters, they incredible. And it's one of the reasons, seeing them sisters and how kind they become and how kind they are and how much they want this truth and want to be obedient to Christ's words and to the Most High's words and want to love their husband like a husband's supposed to be loved. I've never seen that before until I came into this truth.
That's right.
You understand? This is the best brotherhood and sisterhood you will ever see. So before you go into the Purple Gang's church, because that's what it is, a church, they're Christians too, come up in the ISUPK and get some real love, man. This is where we practice brotherhood and sisterhood.
That's right.
And this is where it matters. You understand? Is there any more on that?
No, that's it. But if I could,
go ahead.
What they said, we heard from the beginning that we should love one another. That's even heavier. When you're a baby, it's heavy when these scriptures like jump out at you. When you're a baby, the Most High gave you a nurturing mother, a mother that's gonna show you the type of love that you spiritually you kind of want to give your brothers and sisters. If they hurt, you come to their rescue. If they don't have, like as a baby can't feed itself. If your brother can't feed itself, guess what? You that or your sister can't feed herself. Guess what? You there to feed her. So that same nurturing spirit that you want to give to your brothers and sisters, as far as if they don't have or if they're not able to do for themselves, your mother teach you that. And this scripture said that you learn it from the beginning. Your mother teach you that. Then you go into with your father, he starts teaching you the discipline part of it. But that nurturing spirit and the way you're supposed to treat your brothers and sisters, it start from the day when you're born, when you laying on your mama's shoulder and ready to get some food from that breast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and what that also shows you too, you know, a lot of people say that the law wasn't here in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Most High taught Adam and his children to love one another as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's also heavy. I appreciate you bringing that out. You know what I'm saying? In the scriptures, it says, "Love your brother like you love yourself." That's what it says. And when it said that, this was in the law that Moses gave. This was in the Levitical law, which means Moses knew it. Which means if Moses knew it, it was taught to Adam as well, because all Moses did was put it down on paper. He put it down where people can see it, but Adam actually got all the laws as well. That's what the breath of life was him getting law and structure within himself so he can live. You understand? So, if you could give me Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. Because our nations, the blacks, Hispanics, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, we live in our hill right now, right here on earth. You understand? The oppressor and all these other nations, they got their heaven. But on earth right now, for blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, we have no heaven. Of course, you got some blacks and Hispanics, you know what I'm saying, that has millions of dollars and billions of dollars and stuff like that. But where is it going? It's not coming back to the neighborhoods that you came from. Kanye West came from the south side of Chicago, and he got his $1 billion and ran. When got him an oppressor, the oppressor done turned him wicked as all out. You understand? You got something?
So like, if I
go
could,
ahead.
That's heavy what you bringing out, because that lets you know when you start putting money over the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It does nothing but make you a crazed animal. You become the dog that you try to run yourself from, as being oppressed. Like, he was the oppressed kid in Chicago,
right?
But he felt like that if I got money, I could be just like the oppressor. But what he don't understand is he can't be,
right?
Because guess what? He can't even be with that chick. Don't want him,
right?
You know what I'm saying? She like, he crazy, but his mind is messed up, his spirit messed up, because he chose to take money over his own father and over his own people.
Right.
He decided to take money, and he decided to take the oppressor, and that's gonna drive a man wild. So
no, that's heavy what you bring out, because now he's claiming he's bipolar, and that's the reason he's having all these issues. But at the same time, like, bipolar don't just kick in at the end of at the middle of your life. Like, if you bipolar, you bipolar. We didn't see none of that craze in between time. When he was in the hood talking about the oppressed people in Chicago, he had none of these. That was one of his most inspirational times. That's when I listened to him.
okay.
And then he started dealing with this heathen, and now what you get is he got manipulated.
Okay.
He let somebody make him forget the oppression that was happening to blacks and Hispanics in his neighborhood, and the outcome of that is your heart and your mind, they clash. What you care about and what you want and what you need clashes with each other, and it turns you crazy.
It's like, if I can add to that, you got to remember, he put up a whole thing with who was supposed to be his big brother, Jay-Z. That was supposed to be his. He looked up to Jay-Z,
right?
And that oppressor changed his spirit into a way that he couldn't even deal with his own brother no more. That let you know the way the oppressor would do you. You go get you a white woman. You go get you a woman outside of the nation of Israel. You're gonna lose all your brothers. You're gonna start hanging with the oppressors. You're gonna start hanging with all the other heathens that you ain't supposed to be hanging with, and you're gonna leave this brotherhood alone, because they're gonna take you away from your custom, and they're gonna give you theirs, and their custom don't hang with us.
Right. And more on that, you know what I'm saying? It's heavy that you brought that out. if you come into this school, small stuff like that don't make you break up with your brother. You know what I'm saying? This school teaches you to be responsible with the love of your brotherhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We not sitting here faking brotherhood. These brothers in here that I would trust my bank account with, my safe, my wife, my babies, my life. This is real brotherhood. Who cares about the money? Hell, let me go broke. Shit, I got 20 brothers that's gonna make sure I eat, get to work, I can pay my bills, and if they can't help me in the cash, I got a place to stay. That's a real brotherhood. Kanye West and Jay-Z got billions of dollars. What do you have to fight over? You one of the richest men on earth. As a black man, what do you have to fight over? When in here, we ain't got billions of dollars, but we the best brothers you will ever meet. The best sisters you will ever meet is in here.
Right.
You understand? You got Baruch 4:1.
Khan.
If you could.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Baruch is telling you that the law is life. And if you keep it, you'll live, which means you'll have rulership, you'll have a kingdom, you'll be over every nation on this earth. If you just merely do, he's asked you to do one thing, just keep the commandments, keep the simplest of the law. Don't have a lust for your brother's wife, your brother's rib. Don't kill your brother. Don't lie to your brother. Don't steal from your brother. Be a man. Have your own. Have some integrity. You understand? And that's what creates a great brotherhood.
That's right.
You go ahead.
Khan. Quarter 2.
No, Salakia. Go back to all.
Khan. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
If you don't, you will die. Which means, and this is exactly what I was talking about. I've been talking about since the start of class. If you don't, you're gonna die. You're gonna live in poverty. You're gonna live in ghettos. You're gonna live under nations' feet. You're gonna live under the feet of other nations. That's death. You know what I'm saying? You think that death is when you just die? Is when you just croak over? No, simple. We come back into this earth after death. When the Most High allows us to come back in this earth. And death is to keep coming back into the same situation you left. You left the ghettos, you're going to die to come back to the ghettos, to die to come back to the ghettos. It's a revolving door. You're being recycled into death. That's true death. Instead of being recycled into a kingdom. The day that blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians come together, we will be recycled into a kingdom. Our fathers will be rulers and pass down rulership to us. We will be the ones that's on the forefront of all communications of this earth. We'll be the ones that set the standard and set boundaries. We won't be celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween. We'll be celebrating the Passover or the Feast of Unleavened Bread or the Feast of First Fruit. We'll be celebrating our culture.
That's right.
The 4th of July will be no more. We'll just read about it. We'll read about it and we'll see it. We'll see pictures of it in the museum.
That's right.
Of the day that the oppressor took the land from the North American Indians and then claimed that they had a fight with England and bombs were bursting in there and the Redcoats was coming and they overcame it all. When at the end of the day, what you don't realize is the same people that they claim to go to war for to keep America is the ones that helped them destroy the Native American Indians, who this land belonged to. This land belonged to them. And guess what they did? They got greedy. And they said, we over here taking care of everything. Why you still got to give us law? They didn't even want to take law from the people who gave them the benefit of the land. You know why? Because the white man is the goddamn devil, man.
Right.
They don't care about nothing but what I can eat. They want to gobble up the whole earth. They'll gobble the whole earth up, man. If you allow them to, the oppressor will gobble up this whole earth. Every place that they go, they destroy. Every place they go, they take somebody's land and identity. Every place they go. That's why we destroy it right now. They feed you Christianity. They feed you that you can eat pork and crab and lobster because we do it. And look at us. We perfectly fine. Well, dummy, the law ain't for you. We're destroyed from eating shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster because it's against our law. Our daddy told us not to do it in those terms. I told you I'm a father of the house, so I always look at it in that sense. My daddy told me not to do it. I did it anyway, so now I get punished for it. And that's the reason we are destroyed. You can say, well, the oppressor, they eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster and pig and all that. Or they kill people, and why they ain't in the same situation that we in? Because somebody loves you enough to punish you for not obeying orders. Because the things that he's telling us to do is to save us, man. It ain't to save anybody else on earth. The oppressors don't need saving. They oppress everything on the goddamn earth. The fish in the sea. The mammals on land, every human that they can put their hands around their neck, they doing it. They only cool with the Arabs until they want some oil. Then they go bomb every city in their damn country.
Right.
There is no safe haven from the oppressor. And the only way you can get out of that is to join your people. You understand? You got that article. I sent you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could bring that article up, man, because it's funny. We think that we all to us we all so-called Americans. Then why are the blacks and Hispanics in crime levels is so high? Why do we kill each other, steal from each other more than the oppressor? They live in the same land we live in, and they outnumber us. We're the minority; they're the majority. Yet our crime rates is up here, and their crime rates is down there. And it's a reason for it, and it's the reason why we call them the oppressor right now. You understand? Because they, like I said, they're the devil that the Bible speaks of. They're the deceivers on earth. You got that?
Oh God. This is from academic at oup.com. This is Oxford Academics. Social problems. Whites, blacks, and Latino homicide rates. Why the difference? Abstract. The racial homicide differential in the United States is extraordinarily large, with minorities exhibiting much higher homicide rates than non-Latino whites.
That's what I was just talking. That's what I was just talking about. It says that America sees more violence in minorities, which is blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians on earth, in the United States, over whites. And it said extraordinary amount, a large amount. Now, if you think about it, how much of a differential it is of minorities versus whites. Whites is the highest of population in the United States of America. So you telling me that they ain't doing nothing wrong? It's more y'all, but y'all just the most peaceful people on earth. You see how the social media and TV portrays the oppressor to be just the nicest person on earth, as if he done nothing wrong. Go ahead, read.
Okay.
Read what it say in that next passage right there.
Okay. Several sociological explanations for crime suggest that if whites were subjected to the same structural pressures of minorities, white homicide rates would approach levels currently experienced among minorities.
They saying, so if whites was in the same structure set up for minorities, which means if they were put in the position that minorities was put in, the ghettos, how hard it is to find good schools for our kids, how hard it is for us to find jobs, how hard it is for us to get housing and live in houses that's actually fit for the size of our families. You know what I'm saying? How hard it is for us to get an education enough to get a job that's worth working, that we can, where we can get our family in a good place. If they were structured the same way that we were structured, it said that their homicide levels would be the same as the minorities right now. And when they say minorities, they're talking about all minorities in clumped up in one. It says that the oppressor as one people would be like all the minorities put together. That's how their homicide rate will be. That's what that article is saying. Because if you think about it, anytime an oppressor get fired from a job, you know what I'm saying, his rib don't do what he tell her to do, he's shooting everything up. He'll kill everything in his vicinity. You got the high school shootings because somebody was bullying you. Because the oppressor has learned how to make judgment emotionally. And one thing that they've passed down to our young men too in this nation is they've passed down how to deal with situations emotionally, with they feelings. The pride of the oppressor is like none other nation on this earth. It tell you that in Obadiah. You know what I'm saying? He puts himself way up high. And it's trickling down to our young brothers and sisters, in our ghettos, because when they see an oppressor killing to get what they want, then they think that that's the way. If I kill a whole race of people, then I'll be on top and then I can live good. You understand? When from the beginning of time, we've taught to love one another. That has always been one of the biggest commandments and laws, is for us to love one another. Why do you think that the Most High took Adam out of a low state and brought him into a garden? So he can give him those laws, and then give him a rib from his own, you know what I'm saying, and give her law so they can create something that was magnificent. It would be a tribe of people that loved one another, that can sit at the table and eat together. You understand? When Christ came, he had 12 disciples. And everything that he pushed to those 12 disciples is, I want you to love one another. I want you to teach love. Love thy brother like you love yourself. New commandment I teach you today, to love one another. Those things that he drilled into their head, and if you go through multiple of, scriptures in Matthew and Luke, you'll see that he beat brotherhood into their heads, because the one thing that can save this nation is brotherhood. That's right. He knew that this nation stood on it's easy to say follow the law, statutes, and commandments. It's easy, but what's hard to do is to follow it and endure through it. And the only way you can endure through it is through brotherhood. He came and showed you how to live. And not only did he show you how to live, he put his brothers on his shoulder. And those brothers on the shoulder of Christ made a difference. And if it wasn't for them, the brothers in the ISUPK wouldn't be here putting their life on the line every day for our nation. Right. We read these chapters in the scriptures, and we see ourselves. We see what Commander General Yohana has created in the world. Not just the United States. You got Haiti. You understand? You got over in Europe. You understand? You got in Mexico, in Puerto Rico. Commander General Yohana has created the vision that Christ was giving to those 12 disciples. And that's what is destroying the earth right now, and it's bringing it closer to our heaven. That's right. When Christ comes back with his numerous amount of angels and crack that sky, just know that the ones who followed the law to love your brother like you love yourself, they're going to be the ones that Christ is going to look at first. You understand? If you could, hold on one second.
Let me read some more. So that one ain't good.
You got any more in that article?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, let me get some more of that.
The analyst, Salaki, the analyst reveals that all of the white Latino homicide differentials and about half of the white-black homicide gap could be reduced if the characteristics of minorities were improved to levels currently exhibited by whites.
So this is saying if we were treated fair, if blacks and Hispanics was given the same opportunities as they call them non-white Latinos, obviously they know that you even saying non-white Latinos let you know that Latinos is black, because you have to categorize it as whites versus non-whites in Latinos.
Right.
Like, why would you even make that a characteristic? Latinos, you are considered black, and when we say black, we don't mean your skin. We mean black as in spirit. That's what they call us. That's the name they put on us. And they said if they structure the black and Hispanic neighborhoods to where they benefited the same way that the oppressor benefits, that we wouldn't have this destruction in our neighborhoods. We wouldn't have this separation in our neighborhoods. If we were given the fair share, as they would call it, you wouldn't get the crime rates and the homicide rates and the brothers shooting brothers on the corner. You wouldn't get that, because we wouldn't be oppressed men. We would be men who's working 9-to-5 jobs. And of course, we do everything better than everybody on this earth. So business would be booming.
Right.
If the oppressor knew that putting us in those positions that they giving to their own, if they knew that giving us those positions would make their economy boom, I'm pretty sure that's probably why they don't give it to us. That's probably why they don't give it to us, because what comes with your community's boom? I mean, your industry's booming. That means you got to hire more blacks, which means somewhere down the line we're gonna run everything. We the salt of the earth, black man, Hispanic man, North American Indian man.
Right.
We the reason why every civilization on this earth right now is prosperous. You take you out of it, you get a bland piece of meat. That's what you get. You get some unseasoned chicken. Don't nobody want that. They don't want it until you put a little flavor to it. Sports is only what it is because it has blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians in it. Boxing wouldn't be nothing without blacks and Hispanics. Basketball wouldn't be nothing without blacks and Hispanics. Football wouldn't be nothing without blacks and Hispanics. Take all the blacks and Hispanics out of there and you see 10 oppressors running back and forth down the court. Man, I'm turning the TV off. Go ahead.
If I could, one of the biggest sports in the world right now is soccer, and that's our native our Hispanic brothers, man, they run away with that for forever.
Damn right.
From the day I haven't watched soccer, I say them Hispanic brothers, them Issachar and Ephraim, man, them brothers, they can play.
Them Hispanic, Salaki, if I could, them Hispanic brothers in soccer, they is ruling the game of soccer.
Most I ain't crazy.
They is rule every team in South America is like awesome. That's the type of things that and then you take the South Americans, you take our Issachar brothers out of that, and what do you have? You have a bland sport. You have a sport that won't make the billions of dollars that it make right now. Baseball has blacks and Hispanics throughout the whole league. Throughout the whole league of baseball, you have a few sprinkled oppressors in there because they know how to pitch or something. You know what I'm saying? But you take the blacks and Hispanics out of baseball, it is not a billion-dollar industry.
That's right.
It's not.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
I got it. That's heavy what you bringing out, because
baseball became lucrative when the blacks and Hispanics got into baseball.
Right.
You got to think about why the hell disperse that Negro League and bring the Negroes into baseball?
Right.
Because they knew the same way they know in football today. That's the same way as that team is 80% African American.
Mm-hmm.
Today they know that hey, we can make money off these because they the strongest men on this earth.
Right.
They the smartest men on this earth, and they got talents that we can't produce it.
Right.
We can't produce this with us. And that's how, like, if you look at that, you should also see how much God, the Most High, favors you. Like, think about if you took that talent and that salt that you have and flavored your own people instead of flavoring them. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for you seeing somebody like LeBron James say, well, you know what? I ain't going to play this playoff game because you put your knee on George Floyd neck.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to play a playoff game.
Right.
But what make you a real brother was to say, hey, I ain't playing a game no more. That's a real brother. I'll never play this game again until we find a way to fix this justice system. If you want to show that you love your brothers, you know what I'm saying? LeBron James, any of these brothers that got millions of dollars who could already live for the rest of their life and be well off.
Right.
If you really want to show how much you love your brothers, that's what you do. Say, hey, you know what? Hey, Jerry West, hey, Ainge, all these big heads in the league. Hey, I'm not playing for your team because unless you endorse black, a little bit more on black being treated differently in America, I won't play this game because this game came off the back of off the back of black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's heavy what you even bring out because out of all this, I can honor Colin Kaepernick because what he did was he said, I don't need to make your millions of dollars if it takes away from me having some type of pride in the oppression that you know what I'm saying? It's some pride in going against the oppression of the oppressor.
that's right.
They said, I'll give you your job back. All you got to do is not put your knee on the ground. You understand? When we playing the national anthem. And you know, and what Colin Kaepernick did was he didn't take the bait. You niggas, some of you out there is you'll take your knee off the ground for $30. This man was a millionaire. He was due millions. And he said, I won't do that because my people are oppressed and I don't need your money to go against my people. Half of y'all now in the Christian church, you don't even care. You would take, your payment is shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster. You won't love your people because you want to eat pork. When there's a man who's giving up millions of dollars to love his people, you won't give up a piece of meat that eats dead things for your people. You understand? And that's something that's a disgrace to our nation. Because when you have a brother like Christ who comes down and he walks with brothers and shows brothers how to live just to die, that's the true characteristics of a king. That's the person who endures to the end. That's the person who knows that it's going to hurt and he's going to feel pain, but yet he still loves. He didn't run. And you know, I tell my rib all the time, you know, how much I appreciate it because she had to come into this school and she came from the same background I did, Christian church, eating bacon, pork chops, all that. And the hardest thing to do is to get a woman to change her mind. That's one of the hardest things you can do, especially when they get around sisters and aunties. And it's hard. That woman stood up and she said, husband, whatever you want, I'll do. As long as it ain't blatantly disrespecting her. I don't lie to my rib. I don't sit there and pacify her. I keep it 100. I say both of us is held to a level to Christ and to the level of to the Most High. Both of us got to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Both of us have to endure to the end, and both of us has to learn how to communicate and know that I'm the head of this household. Because as soon as she forgets that, then she begins to go into her own way when the Bible says the man is the head, and then the woman, and then the children. I would never steer her wrong. So, and I would always take some counsel from her if she has good ideas. I would never neglect it. She's a helpmate. That's what they were, you know, our women were put on earth for, to help us to sometimes make right decisions or look at it in a different way. So those type of things, and they are sisters too. You got to understand, you know, to love a brother and love your sister, you know, if you love your sister enough, you will gain you a great wife, a great rib in this school, man.
That's right.
You had some?
Salaki, I just wanted to bring up just to bring up some numbers because Salaki. No, what I was wanting to say was, even on that Colin Kaepernick thing you was just talking about, what he gave up all those contracts. Today, 2021, Colin Kaepernick still worth $20 million. So the Lord was with it. All the stuff that he did, the Lord was still with him, because he wasn't a coward. He wasn't bagging out like everybody else did.
Right.
And at this moment, he probably got more money than brothers that's still in the NFL.
Right.
And that's because he wasn't a coward. You know
Good night. So Colin Kaepernick stuck to his guns. Yeah, he didn't get to play. His passion was probably to play the game, but he stuck to his guns. He stuck to his guns. He said, I ain't signing no contract if it say I can't kneel for the national anthem. And he's still worth $20 million today. $20 million a day. And I'll tell you, Jay-Z's worth $1 billion. Kanye's worth $1 billion. But Kaepernick worth only $20 million. And I see him doing stuff for the neighborhoods that those black brothers should be doing for New York. And Kanye West should be doing for Chicago. This Chicago is worse than it was when Kanye left. Why ain't you funneling your money in here to save your people, man?
That's right.
How do you love your people, but you can go and eat steak and lobster every day with your $1 billion budget, but can't fund a truckload of food out here for these brothers and sisters that's not eating in the streets? But guess who's doing it? All over the world, Commander General Yohana is feeding black people.
That's right.
Commander General Yohana don't have $1 billion. He don't. But what he will do is Commander General Yohana will go broke to make sure that this nation eats.
That's right.
Commander General Yohana will go broke to make sure that every man and woman and child in this nation has a place to live.
That's right.
Commander General Yohana loves his people. He loves his brothers and he loves his sisters. And that's the true spirit of brotherhood.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Damn right. So next time you go and buy Jay-Z's album or Kanye West album, just know this is not here. Those albums ain't doing nothing to help black people. It ain't doing nothing to help black people. You understand? Salakia. I know I get long-winded sometimes. If you could, give me Matthews 10 and 21, if you could. Yeah, give me some of that.
You said 10 and 21.
Con. You know, and Christ talked to his disciples, and he told them what would come. They knew the struggles that would happen. It's the same struggles that's happening with these brothers in the ISUPK today. We dealing with it, you know, but we know that the outcome of all our pain and all our struggles and having to get up and go to camp on Saturdays and it's almost 90 degrees outside again. We got to go wake our brothers up and our sisters up in the streets. It's a pain. That's why I said to love somebody is to endure. You think that feeling 90 degrees on your scalp for 5 hours feels good? No. Do you think having to be away from your rib and children for hours, for classes and breakdowns feels good? Only to the men in the ISUPK it feels good.
Right.
Because it's a sacrifice worth having. It's a sacrifice worth making in this school.
That's right.
Because in order for my kids to get the benefit of what I'm doing, I have to raise the nation up. This nation has to endure through time so the king can come back and give all of us a piece of heaven.
That's right.
That's what we're here for. We're here to raise up the nation enough for the Most High to say, son, go down there and get my people and give them their heaven. They finally deserve it. They finally understood what I was telling them from the beginning of time. And the ones who didn't, weed them out. He did it. He did it with Moses when they went through the wilderness. He waited till every one of those leaders died before he even gave them the promised land, because he only wanted the ones who were capable of being given justice to be in that land. He wanted the ones he wanted to appoint to go into that land, and he's going to do the same thing when we get our heaven back. He's going to appoint the ones that he wants, and the rest is going to fall by the wayside. Go ahead, you got something?
Salaki, he did the same thing for Noah.
Right. He did the same thing with Noah. That's heavy. I'm happy you brought that up. He did the same thing. Hey, there was what, 8 chosen? Noah, his kids, Noah, his sons, and his sons' wives, and everybody else. Shalom. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Most High don't play games. When he say be a brother to your brother, be one. When he say follow my laws, follow them. Well, may the Lord be with you, and he probably won't be. You understand? Go ahead. You got Matthew 10 and 21.
God, this is the book, Matthew chapter 10 and verse 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
You see what it say in Matthew 10 and 21? It say, and the brother shall deliver the brother up to death. That's what we doing out here in the streets every day. We delivering our brothers up to death, man. We shooting up cars with AR-15s, man. We're delivering them. You know what it means to deliver? It means to hand them to death. It means to carry them into death. You're doing it to your own brother. This is prophesied by Christ talking to his disciples before this time. He said, you're going to have to endure a lot of stuff. You're going to have to endure brothers that's going to deliver their brothers up to death. Go ahead, read.
And the father, the child.
And the father, the child. That's abortions right there.
That's right. That's right.
That's abortions right there. So your brother is going to kill you. You're going to have brothers killing brothers. You're going to have fathers killing their children. Go ahead.
And the children shall rise up against their parents.
And the children shall rise up against their parents. And this is in the sense of this. Me as a father, I teach my kids something. I expect them to carry on that legacy of what I taught them. In these days, you have children that follow nobody.
That's right. They
have no head. They have no leadership. They have no parent. The parent is usually the person who brings a child up. And that's why when it says that they're going to rise up against their parent, you're rising up against your leadership, the person who's supposed to form you. You're going to form yourself. And everybody knows that a child that forms itself is going to be wicked. They have no structure. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I could, and just to like take that almost a little bit home, if I could.
Go ahead.
To rise up against your parent means that child thinks he or she is higher than her parent in the household. And you look at today, children think they are higher than their parents in their own household.
Yeah.
The kids sit there and play games all day. The kids eat up all the food in the refrigerator. The kids do whatever the hell they want to do. And guess what? You take yourself to work every single day and spend all your money on that kid that does nothing.
Right.
You sacrifice your weekends with your friends, your brothers and sisters that you want to go do because you got to go bail your son out of jail because he decided he wanted to drink off your money.
Right.
And so that's now you have a kid that raises himself against his parents. That means he's trying to raise himself over his parents. And the sad part about it is, unless you're in the ISUPK and learning under Commander General Yohana, you're going to allow your kid to raise up over you. You're going to allow your kid to be the head of your household.
Damn right.
But we don't do that in this school.
And the water for that too. You know what the perfect example of that is Dwayne Wade's son.
Khan.
If anybody knows what's going on with Dwayne Wade's son. Dwayne Wade's son says that he identifies as a girl. So Dwayne Wade goes on TV into an interview and says, "I'm proud of him, I'm proud of her, whatever she identifies as. You know, at the end of the day, it's still my child." That's your child rising up over your parents.
That's right.
Because your parents are supposed to teach you that you're a boy and that you're a girl. That's your parents' job. Your father's job is to teach you how to be a man, and your mother's job is to teach you how to be a young lady.
That's right.
And the day that your father teaches you how to be a young lady is wicked, man.
That's right.
It's wicked. When your father tells you that you can identify as a young lady, he is wicked. And I guarantee you this, he probably getting tangled in too. I'm just Salaki. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Because any man who will sit there and say, I'm gonna support my son wearing a dress and high heels and a purse and a wig, and I'm gonna dye my hair pink to support it, you a wicked man on this earth. You are. You're a wicked man on this earth. And it's displeasing to me because, you know, me and Ramawan, we came from the hood that Dwayne Wade came from. And we know we had morals in that hood that didn't honor nothing, things like that. So now ask yourself, if where he came from didn't place that type of emotion on him, then what happened to him? And it's just like Officer Ramawan said earlier. The power of that money, it'll make you lose your soul, man.
That's right.
Not only will it destroy you, it'll also destroy your kids. It'll destroy the rest of your life. Like, if Dwayne Wade wasn't worth millions of dollars and his kid was still sitting back there in Robbins, Illinois, Dwayne Wade kids would probably be on the football field right now. That same kid would be playing for the Robbins Eagles, and he probably would be a man. He wouldn't be sitting over here saying, I'm a girl now. He would have been around all them hood niggas, and he probably would have been the same thing. The thing is, Dwayne Wade, his wife, Gabrielle Union, runs that household. So in every boy's mind, because we naturally leaders, we look for how to lead. And obviously his son realized that the only way to lead is to be like Gabrielle. So I'm gonna put a dress on and look good and smell like perfume and put high heels on, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to lead in this household. And Dwayne Wade, who's I'm pretty sure gay, he went along with it. His son rose up above him and his parents. You got any more on that? Yeah, read that again, man. That's a heavy scripture right there.
And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
And cause them to be put to death. And cause them to be put to death. You know what it means? So, especially with parents, to be put to death means you're silenced. You have no input on what this kid is doing. Like, this child right now is his own. There is no parent. Dwayne Wade's son is just his son. He has no parent, because whatever Dwayne Wade's son wants to do, he does it, which means you have nobody to teach you. He's growing up a little boy who's probably going to commit suicide later on in life because he realized that he made a mistake and his parents never helped him fix that mistake. That's the death of the parents.
That's right.
You understand? If you could, give me Matthew 25 and 31.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 31. You said 31, right?
Khan.
At 31, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
This is talking about Christ's rulership. So when the Son of Man is Christ. So it's saying when Christ comes in and sits on his throne, You know what I'm saying? And he takes rulership. Go ahead. Go to verse 32.
Khan, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
So this is Christ making a judgment. So so Christ is coming to take his throne, and then he's going to take all nations. He's going to separate them. Like he going to divide them up. This is the sheep. This is the goat. Of course, the sheep follows the shepherd. The goats is the ones that didn't follow the shepherd. So you're going to have the ones who follow Christ versus the ones who didn't follow Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goat on the left.
Once again, like I said, the sheep is the ones that follow Christ. They'll be on his right hand side, but then you have the goats. The goats is the ones that didn't follow Christ. They'll be on his left hand side. Go ahead.
Verse 34, then shall the king say unto them, on his right hand, come ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world.
So then you have Christ. It says, then the king is Christ. This is talking about Christ getting his rulership. He gonna say, the people on his right, the ones on his right hand, come and enjoy the kingdom that his father had saved from them from the beginning of the world. This is so when the father had understood. Go ahead.
So like the promise to our forefathers is Salaki, I believe what they speaking of in this. This is the original promise he gave to our forefathers once we got our act together and actually followed these laws, statutes, and commandments. Is I believe what they, like you was just going to bring out.
Right, and that is, and not only from the prophets of old, but from Adam. This is that's why it says from the foundation of the world. It says the king is going to give you your inheritance that was prepared from you from the foundation of the world, because this is the inheritance he gave Adam. Adam was supposed to have rulership over the whole world. He was supposed to have these inheritance, and because he made mistakes, then we had to work for our inheritance again. So he's saying that, look, it took a while, but when Christ comes back, you're going to get the inheritance that I had already offered you in the beginning of the foundation of the world. Go ahead, read.
Khan. Going to 34.
I'm going to 35.
Khan, sorry, 34. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goat on the left. Verse 34, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye, blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world. Verse 35, for I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat.
He said, for I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. You know what I'm saying? These are all characteristics of a brother. Go ahead.
Khan, I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink.
I was thirsty, he gave me drink. Go ahead.
Khan, I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Verse 36, naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me.
So what these verses is talking about is this is Christ understanding that brotherhood was given. It was given through food, through drink, through, you know what I'm saying, I don't have anything to wear. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a low place and you came to visit me. Prison don't always have to be jail bars. Sometimes prison can be you in your own head and you came to check on your brother. You know what I'm saying? Or I was a stranger and you took your brother in. That's exactly what I was just telling you that Commanding General Yohana in the ISUPK does.
That's right.
This is exactly what he does in this truth, man. He does exactly this. You understand? You have something?
I was just going to say this hardcore One West right here. This is what we do on an every single day basis with the brothers and the sisters in the world today. Our brothers and sisters out of that 12 tribes. I mean, and we don't gloat about it, but this scripture is a hardcore scripture that when I first got into this school, I've noticed from day one,
right,
up until right now, that like we don't shy away from this. We feed our brothers if they hungry. We clothe our sisters and brothers if they need it. Like, we don't run away from helping our brothers and sisters. We
Damn
don't run
right.
away from brotherhood. We run toward brotherhood.
Damn right.
We don't run away from bullets like the IUIC do. We run toward the bullets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is just, to me, it was just a hardcore scripture that you brought out. The water.
And what's heavy what you brought out when you said you don't run away from bullets, we run towards them. You know what I'm saying? What's our motto? You know what I'm saying? The only time we argue is about who gonna bite the bullet. You know what I'm saying? We ain't letting, like, our brotherhood, it demands us to die for our brother. That's how, just like you being a father demands for you to die for your family, this is our family in ISUPK.
Right.
And it demands us, it commands us to die for your brothers and for your sisters. That's why we on those street corners every Saturday and Friday, speaking what Christ told us to speak.
That's right.
And not being scared. We go on the west side, this nigga shooting out the windows. And we sit there and say that the white man is the goddamn devil. That's
right.
What we do. And we don't get touched. Because obviously the Most High is with us. You understand? And that's all the scriptures is telling you. Love your brother like you love yourself, and you'll get the ultimate protection. It's going to teach you how to be a man, but it's also going to teach you how to die with class. If that's what has to happen. You understand? You got, go ahead, keep going with that.
Verse 37, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee, and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink?
These are all questions. It said, then shall the righteous answer. The righteous is, like we said earlier, the people who's doing right. It said, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee, and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? They asked him, what are you talking about? Like, we ain't never, I don't remember giving you no food or no drink. Go ahead.
Okay, 38. When saw we, Salakia, when saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee?
He said, when do we see you, not having nowhere to stay and take you in? You know what I'm saying? When do we see you with no clothes on, or scrap clothes, and we ain't give you, you know what I'm saying? We gave you some clothes to put on. When do we see that? Go ahead.
Verse 39. Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee?
You get my point. Go ahead.
Khan. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
And Christ said, and this is the ultimate brotherhood. And that's why I can say that Commanding General Yohana has changed my life. Because I've never had a leader to lead over me that feels like I'm just important as he is in this truth.
That's right.
That's being humble. That's loving your brother like you love yourself. Because right. Commanding General Yohana would have said the same thing. I saw you feed my trooper. That fed me. That gave me energy. I saw you house my officer of 50. That housed me. That housed this nation. And that's who we fighting for in the ISUPK. Christ said, and as much as ye have done it unto the least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Which lets you know that Christ knew that brotherhood, no matter what rank you in the brotherhood, meant more to him than anything else on this earth. And what Christ did in this scripture was he let you know that he understands that even if you ain't do it to me in particular, if you did it to Officer Ramawan, you still, it's like doing it to me. If you kill, but that also goes on the other side of things. If you kill my brother, you killing me. If you let my brother starve, you starving me. This is the precept that he's bringing out to let you know that just because, this is also awesome because This lets you know no matter what a man's rank is, no matter what your stature is on earth, you should treat your brother like a brother. No matter what. He could be the poorest man on the block. We used to have a brother over here named Chicago Tupac. And that brother loved us in this school. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he ended up, you know, getting killed, may he rise again. But the brother had, and hopefully, most high willing, he rise again and then coming to the school. But that brother had love for us, and we treated him like we would treat any other brother in the school. Because although we knew that the brother didn't have the understanding that we have, we knew his oppression. That's how we identified with the oppression that he had. And we knew that it could be any day that we did the right thing to get him to just sit in class, and it could change his life. Although, you know, the Most High's mercy didn't last long enough for that to happen. You know, we all in the Chicago school just pray that, you know, he rise again and come to the school.
That's right.
You understand? But that's true brotherhood. Go ahead, keep reading on that.
We at 41, verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
So now he's looking over to his left side. The left side was the goats. These the ones who wasn't following him. You know what I'm saying? And he said, depart from me. You know what I'm saying? You cursed. You gonna get, so now you getting thrown into everlasting fire. You getting thrown into hell forever. You know what I'm saying? A place that was prepared for the devil and his angels. Because of course, when Christ take rulership, you know what I'm saying? And this is showing you when Christ takes rulership. When Christ take rulership, no other nations is gonna the oppressor ain't gonna have heaven no more. It's over with. It's over with. That's gonna be everlasting. Go ahead, read 42.
So like if I could
go ahead.
And you gotta look at this and say a place prepared for the devil and his angels. This hell for us is given to the devil and his angels as a punishment stick to us.
Mm-hmm.
So all this is saying is, hey, now they're gonna go into a place where punishment is. Where this punishment was given to the devil and his angels.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to suffer from it.
Right.
Instead, you know, that's he put him on the left. He said, hey, now you get to deal with what I put out here as punishment.
Right.
Like, you get to have it now. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of heavy when I saw it. Verse 42. For I was in hunger, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink.
So now this is the other side of things. This is what we would call in ISUPK. This is what we call unbrotherly, being unbrotherly to your brother. He was hungry, and you didn't give him nothing to eat. You had something to eat, and you wouldn't even give him none. He was thirsty. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't give him nothing to drink. And here, if we got one bottle of water, and if your brother can't drink, then neither one of us drinking. That's brotherly. Or I'm gonna drink and I'm gonna give him the other half. Like, that's brotherly. You don't sit there and let your brother get hungry and be thirsty, and you don't give him none of it to nourish him, to give some strength back to a brother who's supposed to protect you. Come on, man. Read.
Oh God, verse 43. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick in prison, and ye visited me not.
So all those things that the brothers did, you know what I'm saying, the sheep did, these brothers didn't do. You was a stranger, you know what I'm saying, you ain't show him no hospitality, you know what I'm saying. He was naked, you couldn't give a brother a t-shirt, man, so he can be covered up, you know what I'm saying. He was sick, you couldn't, you know what I'm saying, bring him a basket of tea or something, you know what I'm saying. I remember my daughter, she was sick. She had COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? Captain Marquardt, excellent, you know what I'm saying, leader in the school of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know it. You know, he ended up sending over a basket. It was a basket full of, you know what I'm saying, lemons and limes and teas and aspirins and you know what I'm saying, everything to get over the COVID-19 with a balloon that said get well soon. So, you know what I'm saying? And what got to me is I saw a car pulling up. Like, who the hell is this car pulling up? And you know what I'm saying, when the sister jumped out, she had a basket of stuff, man, and it was something that made me that stuck in my head after that. It was like, you know, Cap at his stature, you know what I'm saying, as the people in the world would think, he didn't have to do all that, but he thought about, you know, my family in they time of distress, and you know, and he wanted to do his part in making sure that the little ones, you know what I'm saying, was protected and got the nourishment that they needed. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a big shout out to Captain Malquad for that, because I didn't forget about that. That's something that's gonna always, you know, that's always gonna resonate in my brain. You know, that he cared enough, you know, to help out, you know, one of his brothers in his school.
That's right.
Go ahead, you can keep going.
God. Verse 44, then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee?
So now these people are saying that, you know, they saying the same thing that, you know, the sheep said. They said, you know, they asked him saying, you know, Lord, when did we see you hungry and thirsty, or you know, didn't have nowhere to go, or didn't have no clothes, or was sick, or was in prison, and you know, we ministering to you? Go ahead.
Verse 45, then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me.
So this is what I'm saying. Even if you ain't doing it, even if you doing it, you know, for General, you know, Commander General Yohana or Captain Malquad, if you pass up one of the low level brothers, your brothers that's still your brothers, you still doing it unto Christ. If you pass it, if you're not doing it in brotherhood, because there's a lot of people who do it, you know, for you know, he a captain of 13,000. I'm gonna do it for him. But if I see a trooper walk past and he hungry, he ain't got no clothes, he ain't got nowhere to stay, I ain't gonna do it for him. Christ said, in as much as you did it to the least of my brethren, you did it to me. You offended me by not doing it to the least of my brother. Don't do it to me. If you ain't gonna do it for the brothers under me too. That's the way this household works. You understand it? And Christ was the ultimate character of brotherhood. And that's why he wanted to show us how to have that brotherhood, because if he didn't have that example for us, we probably would be in this earth just destroyed, more destroyed than we is right now. Under the ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana, we have hope.
That's right.
We actually have hope, and that's because we followed these laws and these statutes that was put in these scriptures for us to continue to follow. You understand? You could drop that. This gonna be my last verse. Go to John 15 and 12.
God.
You understand? All Christ wanted us to do, and of course this is through the orders of his Father, was for his people to care about each other, for blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians to come together, for BDs and GDs to come together, for Vice Lords and Blackstones to come together, and Latin Kings, you understand, for Crips and Bloods to come together, man. All Christ wanted us to do is to love one another, man. Because he knew the only way he was gonna get it, just like we say, I'm doing this to get my piece in the kingdom. Christ came down here to show us an example through pain, through death, just so he can get his kingdom. You think Christ don't want his kingdom, man? He want his reward. He worked for it. He deserved it. He worked for it. And all he wants us to do is to get ours. But he guaranteed we're going to have to work for it. And that's going to start off by learning to love your brother is the ultimate weapon to get in your kingdom. Go ahead, read what you got.
God, it's the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 12.
Read.
This is my commandment.
This is my what?
This is my commandment.
What is a commandment? What's a commandment, Officer Ramon?
It's an order.
It's an order. Christ said, this is my commandment. This is my order to you. Read.
That ye love one another as I have loved you.
That ye love one another as I have loved you. How did he love his brothers? He loved them so much that he sacrificed his body. He loved them so much that he could have been sitting on the right-hand side of the throne with the Most High. Instead, he came down here to be an example and to be tortured and to be mangled and to be stabbed and to be set in hot desert with vinegar water poured in his wounds and to be tortured until he just had to say, Father, just do it already. He knew what was coming. He endured to the end.
Right.
He loved his brother so much that he knew the pain that was going to come, and he endured until the end. So when it says that ye love one another as I have loved you, that means endure to the end, man. Don't drop your sword. Come into this truth and protect your brothers, love your brothers and sisters like never before.
That's right.
Because that's what Christ would have did.
That's right.
Christ wouldn't have came in here, seen his brothers fighting for a kingdom that was his, and said, you know what, y'all just go ahead and do it. That would have been cowardly of Christ, and he wasn't a coward. Christ came in and said, I will make the ultimate sacrifice to let you know how much I love you, and you should do the same thing.
That's right.
Read that last verse.
This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
As he has loved you. Go ahead to 13.
Greater, Salakia, verse 13, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend.
Good night. Greater is no love than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend. And that's what we do every day for our brothers in ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? And that's real love. Go ahead.
Can I go to the 13?
Go ahead.
Greater, Salakia, verse 13, greater love, Salakia, verse 14, ye are my friend, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
And it's saying, you are his friend if you do whatsoever he ordered you to do. You understand? And these brothers in ISUPK, we do what Christ told us to do. We love our brother like we love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We love our sisters. We follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? We do what Christ ordered us to do. You got any more on that? Go ahead.
If I can go to 15.
Go ahead.
Verse 15, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
He said he ain't gonna call you servants, because servants don't know what their lords do. He gonna call you his friend, because all the things that the Father gave him, he shared it with us. It's like you and your brother at home. Everything your parents shared with you, you share with your brothers. As servants, they don't know. You just tell them to do it. You understand? You don't tell them why. Christ is saying he don't look at you as a servant if you following behind him. He looking at you as a friend, as a brother, because you following the same the same dream, or not dream, but you following the same thing that his Father told him to follow, and he passed it down. And because you follow him in truth and righteousness, then he's a brother to you. Right. You understand? So, like I said, we got to stop destroying our nation, man, through being unbrotherly, man. BDs and GDs, click together, man. Come into the school. Let's get some strength behind this anger we have. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something righteous in this world. Let Yahweh Shai come back and get his kingdom back. With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Precinct Officer 50, Aramawan.
ISUPK service security announcements. Salakia. We had an ISUPK start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for a brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the heads to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the heads to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 to 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, which is ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. The priest fund, which is a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we got the Feast of First Fruits. That's June 21st at sundown. All blacks, Hispanics, Native American brothers, man, we bring the wives, the children, and we just gonna have a great day. We're gonna eat, we're gonna drink, we're gonna have fun. Any brother want to be a troop in the school, come in with all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and a scarf. And with that, we say Hamajim. Hamajim Shabbat. Hamajim Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabbarakatah. Yazabata. Class dismissed.